joining me on the broadcast is former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, SP Vaid, and defense expert Major Mohammed Ali Shah. A very good morning. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, big visit of Prime Minister Modi today in Jammu and Kashmir. What are your expectations?
Oh, well, as we just heard the former DGP say that he has handled the Prime Minister visits and they are a nightmare in the terms of the security arrangements, the bandobast. It is really a very taxing job for any security person to do a VIP visit. Any VIP visit is a Herculean task, and the Prime Minister's visit is definitely a very Herculean task. Just 12 kilometers away from the main venue, there was a suspected blast over there. And now this was in an agricultural land in Lalian village in Bishna. Now the police is also suspecting that it could actually be a lightning strike or a meteor which could have been a natural form, not necessarily a bomb blast. That has been investigated upon. But 3 attacks, 3 militant terror strikes in one single day was very, very alarming. But let me tell you, it is for the benefit of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, or that region, or that area, and the people who are actually trying to hamper the visit would be inflicting self-damage upon them. Because for 2 reasons. First reason being the security forces will give them a befitting reply which they have not even thought of. Second reason is because it will do them own damage. They will do a lot of good when the Prime Minister comes, inspect that area and talks about progress, development and takes things further for their own benefit. And it's after August 2019, after the abrogation of ceasefire of Article 370 that took place in Jammu and Kashmir. After that, the Prime Minister visiting is very, very crucial, and it will help them in infrastructure, in development, in education, in healthcare, in sanitization, in providing employment opportunities, in generating revenue through agriculture. And now when the Prime Minister addresses the Panchayati Raj Committee, and there will be over 30,000 people who would be connected online with him, it speaks great volume of the leadership. And most certainly, the state, the Union Territory is going to benefit a great deal from this visit, Priyanka.
Alright, Major Mohammed Ali Shah, we also saw the Governor of Jammu and Kashmir saying that, today's event will see Prime Minister Modi leading the region into a new era of development. Your thoughts and comments on it, especially when we are going to witness inauguration of several development projects, several road projects. How do you see this new wave of change?
Oh, in a very positive way, in a very good way, multi-development initiatives worth over rupees 20,000 crores. So look at the state would be benefiting in terms of infrastructure by over 20,000 crores. And yet, it is really distressing to see that there are some people, some fringe elements who are not happy with it. It is like me giving you something, a gift, and a very precious gift, and you think, no, I don't want to accept it. Rather, you throw it away. How ridiculous is that? Secondly, also how this is, as the former DGP rightly mentioned out, the actual grassroots problems. It has to be curbed. I've written an open letter to Jaish-e-Mohammed, the terrorist outfit, immediately after the Pulwama attacks took place, and it was covered widely by various news channels. In fact, your channel took it up and you covered it very widely. It had over 10 million shares in a few hours on social media. The reason being because I talk about the grassroots problem in terrorism. Like, that ideology has to be finished, Priyanka. You can kill, by killing one Osama bin Laden, did terrorism come to an end? It did not. The ideology has to be nipped in the bud. The ideology of terrorism, this brainwashing, this radicalization, this is a whole problem. See, there are few things, like one is radicalization, of course. Then there is unemployment, lack of education, lack of understanding. All those factors need to be worked about to actually talk about progress. If we can eradicate terrorism from Punjab. My father fought in the peak of militancy in Punjab, in Firozpur, in the early 90s. He's seen insurgency in Nagaland in the early 80s. He's seen insurgency in Nagaland. I've seen insurgency in Nagaland and in Jammu Kashmir. But if we can eradicate insurgency and militancy problem and terrorism problem from Punjab, from Assam, I see no reason. If we can do a ceasefire agreement in Nagaland, Mizoram is very peaceful. If we can eradicate such kind of and let me tell you, the insurgency in Nagaland they were still in guerrilla warfare. They are extremely dangerous, extremely lethal. If we can establish peace in those states, why not? I see why not in Jammu Kashmir for that matter. So yes, We have it, and the way forward is again by winning the hearts and minds of Sadbhavna is doing a very good job. The police and the army together, they are doing a very, very fine job. And we have the wind of change have started now. The youth of the country is not with militancy at all. They are as patriotic as anybody else, and we have to accept them that way. And yes, when love happens, both the sides, change happens, and when change happens, we move further in progress. And regarding that open letter of mine, it's there on Google for people who have not seen it. I talk about the ideology of these terrorists, it's a racket actually. It is actually a racket. They catch these innocent youngsters who have no understanding, no education, brainwash them, train them, and try to send them across. But let me tell you, they will get a befitting reply. One of my seniors from the army, Major Arya, he wrote a befitting letter to the terrorist outfit, and in fact to Burhan Wani he wrote an open letter, and that again went viral. And so that is a small bit of contribution even in peace station that we are doing. So our security forces, Jammu Kashmir police, and everybody on the border are doing a very, very fine job. Well, in 2003, Priyanka, I was posted as a line of control, and my post was the last Indian post, and it was very close to the first post of the Pakistani post, 30 meters. And when the Prime Minister goes to such forward post, and he is, apart from the Panchayati Raj Committee, he's also going to the forward post and visiting them, it increases their morale. I'll tell you a small anecdote again of 2003. It was a true story in the month of November, just before the ceasefire. One of our Jawans was grievously wounded at the post. And then immediately we had to evacuate him from the post, right? So then the commanding officer came, he traveled for a long distance through cross country in his gypsy, and he came there. And the moment the commanding officer arrived there, the word got along. The CO Sahab aa gaye, the commanding officer here. The Jawan who was grievously wounded, who could not sit up, who was lying down, stood up on his own 2 feet in Savdhan position, saluted the commanding officer and said, "Jai Hind Sahab." Now that was the morale when he saw the leadership came himself. And when we have our leader going there personally, you can imagine the morale of the troops, apart from doing a good job of the Panchayat, of visiting the Panchayati Raj Committee and addressing them. So the morale of the people, of the men, of the state goes up when somebody of the stature of the Prime Minister goes and visits them, Priyanka.
Absolutely, the morale does go up. Mr. S.P. Vaid, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your views on this big story that we are tracking on the broadcast.